In 2022, we started I went snorkeling in April, like I every year, started swimming around looking for the turtles, and then I started to found a dead turtle. Okay, I've seen a dead turtle before. It's not a big deal. I pick it up, and I started seeing a few more, and then I started finding little piles of them. And then eventually we found out we were able to recover over 140 dead turtles in the lake. Most of them had been dismembered or even cut in half. And after looking into it in more details, this really seems to be a what we call a mass mortality event, and it was probably caused by river otters feeding on these turtles in the winter. And and had we not been monitoring this population for that long, we would have completely missed that particular event. And then it raises a lot of questions about, well, why did it happen that year? Is it something that we should be worried that might happen in the future? So now the big question for us is this was just a fluke? Was this just a fluke? Something made those turtles more accessible during that winter? Or is it something, the beginning of a trend? And that's a pretty important question because overall, we think we're working on more precise estimates, but with the numbers we have now, we think it's about 10% of the population that got killed in one winter alone. So this is obviously unsustainable for the population, especially for a turtle species because turtles are very slow to mature and reproduce. So it takes a lot of time for a turtle to produce another turtle. It takes many years. And so we're really wondering, and so one question we're wondering is that, okay, well, we do know that climate change, global warming is affecting the duration of ice covers in lakes, both the thickness of the ice and also the duration of the ice cover. So would that make these turtles more accessible to river otters? Because I didn't mention that one thing we think is critical for these turtles to survive the winter is ice. They have to be exposed. They're not hiding. They're just resting at the bottom, and they need to be like that because they need to get oxygen straight from the water through their skin. So they function a little bit like a frog. You might have heard that, frogs or amphibians can breathe through their skins. Well, turtles do the same thing in the winter, except they do it in the water. And so they cannot be buried or hidden because there just wouldn't be any oxygen in the water in those spots. So they have to be exposed. So what really the only thing that protects them against predation is the ice in this case. And so if we have less reliable ice covers, then we might expect more mortality like this.